what I want to ask y'all is like, what's your relationship with feminine energy?
Yeah, yeah. I was actually gonna like kind of I guess like get there, but I was actually gonna comment like on actually what all three of y'all were saying. Like a lot of like what you all say like you value and like how you move and like what was instilled in you. These are all just in like at least what I think like characteristics of what it means to be a man. Like and that isn't something that's prescribed. You know what I'm saying? That's something that's scribed like by like
Okay,
ourselves.
okay.
Yeah.
Not
Like,
prescribed.
literally, you feel
Okay.
me? Like don't play with me.
Okay, Tahuti. Okay, Tahuti.
but like truly, and like I know you're touching a little bit on like the figures in your life that have shaped you, and then also even just like with your business, you celebrate and amplify both men and women in their individual journeys and like highlight them and like what how they want to present themselves and what they need and you work with everybody, right? Different ages, genders, everything. You know what I mean? And like the nature of your work almost forces you to like to be equal-minded, and you also run a business, right? And you have clients that are both women and men, and you also have your move with purpose, and I'm sure there are differences in not even just gender, but like age and like physical ability and this and that. I think it's so potent when you're like forced to like be aware of the spectrum, what I'm saying, and like how you present yourself to different people and different experiences. But
Awareness is the biggest thing, like you said.
1000%. I think those are very, very important and potent characteristics of what it means to be a man, and traditionally it's like if you want to think of like the man's like the head of the household, it's like very masculine, very this that but I like there's missing pieces along the way, and I think it's important for us to redefine that for ourselves. And in going to your question about feminine energy, like I love hearing like a lot of black men specifically that I've seen like on social media and stuff speak to like how important the female role models have been in like shaping their values, like their mothers and their sisters and aunts and things like that. But yeah, I was just curious to everyone here, like who like has shaped you?
From that, like
Men
purpose is
and
named
female.
after my mother for the way that she lived a purpose-driven life. So like my mom was hands down the most inspirational person I've ever met in my life. She was diagnosed with breast cancer 2014, terminal breast cancer, and already knew she was inspirational. Like just quick little, she ran a half marathon in October. She finished a race. I used to run the last 5K with her. And at the end of the race was like, how was the race? She's like, oh, my back hurt a little bit. I'm going to go faster I'll be better on the next one. And then a week later got diagnosed with shingles. And then 2 weeks after that, we're like, no, this is not shingles. And it was stage 4 breast cancer with like lesions in her spine. And all she said after that race was, my back hurt a little bit. I'm going to be better on the next one. So for me to be around that energy, unfortunately she passed away in 2016, but for me to be around that person for 26 years of my life is something that I'm forever grateful for. And I still feel her in like everything that she does. And for me, it's a lot of the way that I move is moving with purpose and really just continuing her mission to prioritize health and happiness. And like, if we continue to do those things, everything else is going to be amazing. And it goes back to like what you were saying, like we're working on the inside to start. Prioritize your health, prioritize your happiness, and we're going to be better at work. We're going to be better in our relationships. We're going to be better friends. Like it's for me, I mean, just as you mentioned, who, the feminine energy for me is, I feel so incredibly grateful to have had that role model and that figure for as long as I did. And, it's, for me, as much as I miss her right now, I'm like, I'm happy and I'm proud that I know that like I'm making her smile and like living the life that she taught me. Right. So just trying to help as many other people prioritize those things and just enjoy the journey. Right.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
Bro. Good. Thanks. Good. Thanks.
Beautiful.
What's your relationship with feminine energy?
Yeah, for sure. Well, my mother actually passed away when I was young, so I didn't have enough time with her, unfortunately, but definitely thankful for her, of course. My sister, my older sister, she's 2 years older than me. Like, we're probably the closest siblings. And like, yeah, like I appreciated her energy along the way. I feel like We balance each other really well, and like we've learned from each other and like have supported each other for a long time. So definitely thankful for that because my household is very masculine energy. Besides her, like bringing that piece, it's my dad and my brothers, and me, and then her. So I'm definitely grateful for that. And then in high school, just different girls in my life that actually, were really, really important along the way. I won't name drop or anything. I don't know where this is gonna be posted, but yeah. So there was definitely a shift in my appreciation of just like feminine energy and feminine perspective and external feminine energy, but like also tapping into like internal feminine energy. I think like as I got older, I realized that like there was so many like toxic things that like I like had internalized growing up, that I had to let go. So like I think also a part of like my positivity is like really embracing like the full energy spectrum, So I think I wouldn't have had that without those figures in my life.
Potent.
Yeah.
Potent. Give thanks. And you just said that toxic. We're gonna touch on that one.
We'll let him lead that.
Yeah.
What?
Y'all taking shots.
Coach is hot. Coach is hot over there, man.
That's all it is out here, right?
Why are you addressing the live studio audience? Like, they can't save you,
Feminine energy. It's actually interesting because I know many guys who have feminine energy.
Yep.
And so when I hear feminine energy, I just feel like, because what is feminine energy? What's masculine energy? Because there's girls who have masculine energy.
Yeah,
It's
like,
changed a
I'm
lot
glad you brought
from what
that
we
up.
heard
That's
as,
important.
growing up. Like
Yeah.
he was touching on to what it is now.
Yeah,
Right?
it's crazy because there's a lot of girls I know who have very masculine energy, and I'm just like, wow,
Yeah,
very like
that's
just
that's
like,
a whole,
you know what I mean?
whole
Just very like.
conversation there.
But then there's a lot of guys who are very like feminine energy, and I rock with both sides, right? But in terms of like,
It's a good question. So.
yeah, I can't even give you an answer. I actually don't even like, just
It's
no,
forward.
open the floor. Open
But
the
you
floor.
brought
That's,
up some
Yeah.
potent
that's
points
like,
there.
I just-
I'm
Yeah.
sure people in the comment section are gonna be like, yeah, like talk
no.
about
But what
it. Talk
I just
about
don't I don't actually don't even I can't even tell you because when you guys say moms and stuff, it's just like my mom didn't really have a feminine energy. My mom was a killer, bro.
You feel me? See,
You know, and she still is, and it's just like she doesn't like give off a very feminine energy. But I have some people that I grew up with that were very, very, very feminine, very like a lot of guys who grew up that way, and yeah. So that's a very 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 tough question, bro. I have to like.
You brought up
No, that's
great points.
good.
Yeah, no, I thought about it. Just like, man, when you guys were talking, I'm like, man, feminine energy. What is that again?
Well, I will comment like on like at least like to a certain extent, like again, like I'm sure people will get very controversial in the comments like with this topic just because we're talking about like the binary, the gender binary, and that's already a controversial topic. But like I do think that there are innate characteristics
Careful
to
with that
the
one, bro.
biological.
You want to go on that one? It's too fresh to go.
No, we ain't gotta do all that. I'm just saying, like we
But I'm going to.
also speak on. So we ain't got it, but we
You ain't
can.
got it.
We can if we want to. But like I do think that they're like at least like because traditions get passed on from generation to generation, right? Like so we can't deny the fact that they're like the female has had a certain role throughout the history of time. The male has had a certain role throughout the history of time. Maybe now, like they don't no longer apply, and like people can define like who they are for themselves, and that's great. But like traditionally, like the female being caring, being emotionally expressive, like raising the children, taking care of the children, and then the man, like protecting, like getting the food, like educating, you know what I mean? Like that
question.
exists and that's real. So I do think that like even like who knows, is that biological, psychological, social, generational? I'm sure all of that influences it. But what I want to say is that like there are certain energies that natural born women just have that like is
You know
there.
what I feel
And
we
same
gotta
thing with
touch on,
guys,
though?
but it's not mutually exclusive.
What we gotta touch on with that, for example, is what's the role of your father in your life?
It doesn't exist.
Right? So then what happens is we have women who are raising children and they have to take on both energies.
roles.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like it's a ability to adapt, and that's the strength in that adaptation of like we gotta make it happen. You know what I mean? We gotta make the money. We gotta raise the children. We gotta take care of all the roles.
Right.
Right. So when that happens, it's like, you know, we'll see that have a lot of women more in the masculine side of the energy, and then just with the men on that more on that. I won't even say it's the feminine. It's like a weak masculine energy that men have really right now.
But you know what's scary? I actually like, because we look at men as supposed to be a certain, like, you know, strong, take care of family, big, and then there's a lot of guys who naturally just will never be that, but they have to portray that.
Or they feel
they have to, because like society, you look at
They
them,
feel
like,
the pressure
yeah,
too.
they feel the pressure. So like they can't just be
themselves,
yeah,
or how they want to be.
They can't just be the guy that wants to stay home and take care of the flowers, or why the woman goes out.
There's almost a shift
like,
happening
yeah.
where it's like sort of shifting now, where that's like becoming a little bit more accepted and welcome now. As like we, you know, let's just get into that next thing about how we talk about toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
And we say like it's a man's world, right? But really and truly, I don't feel like it's toxic masculinity. It's like cowardly masculinity.